This is my method for varnishing and acrylic painting. This one's on canvas board. You do exactly the same thing on paper. I use Galleria satin varnish, 1.5 inch hake on the right, 1 inch filbert on the left. I load up the hake with loads of varnish and then just apply it on, not roughly but fairly liberally. Lots of varnish going on, making sure the painting's completely covered, more or less following the, if it's a landscape then it's left to right on the landscape, but not being too fussy, just making sure that everything is covered with lots of varnish. I hold it up against the light just to check that all the surface of the painting is covered in varnish. Not being too fussy at the moment. Right, don't put any more varnish on, just start squeezing out the varnish, and so be taking varnish off from now. Being a little bit more left, right, but the brush strokes are still pretty rough at this stage. Again, squeeze out the varnish that I've just taken off. Go around the edges because varnish will accumulate in a sort of bead around the edges. We don't want that, so take that off. Again, squeeze the brush. And one more go with this brush. Being a little bit more deliberate. Useful to sort of sway the body rather than swing the arm. It'll be more horizontal strokes if you do that. And then go to a dry, soft filbert. Starting to put finer lines on now. Bit more deliberate left to right. Again, swaying the body rather than just the arm. The lines come out a bit more horizontal that way. A little bit of pressure. Same again, squeeze out the varnish. Take the beads from around the edges of the painting. Basically looking to see if there's any sort of sharp beads that particularly need to be taken off, because it should be starting to look quite smooth now. A medium pressure rather than pushing the brush really down onto the painting. The varnish is still running at this time, it's not sticky at all. Take the beads off. And probably by this time sort of 1 or 2 more passes and that's done. So very little pressure by this time. The brush is more or less just hanging on the painting. So it should be making very fine lines. Check against the light. And in fact there's a little speck on the right hand side that's got onto the painting, so I'm trying to just brush it off and it's not working, so I get rid of it like that, but to need to put the lines back across that particular little patch. But there's very little pressure now. the lines of varnish should be nice and fine by this time. And there we are, the finished varnish painting. I just put it to one side in an area which isn't going to get disturbed, and we're just going to leave it for 24 hours. Wash the brushes out in soapy water, bog standard fairy liquid. And then leave the painting undisturbed for 24 hours. It'll dry in a lot less than that.